Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Liam, for the wonderful introduction there. Liam Neeson, folks. Well, my name's Dom Flemons. I'm known as the American Songster, and a songster is a musician who plays and sings a variety of material, and that's what I'm going to be doing for you this afternoon. This very first one I'd like to start off with is a unique arrangement I put together of an old-time number I learned years ago from a fiddler named Joe Thompson, who was an African-American fiddler from Mebane, North Carolina, and this is a piece called Old Cindy Gal. Now, I learned this one on the 5-string banjo and the fiddle, but I decided to change it around to play it on the harmonica and another instrument I picked up in my travels in North Carolina, the rhythm bones. And a lot of people ask me about this instrument here. They say, well, what are these bones here? I see you just clacking them around. Now, these bones are cut to length. They're cow rib bones, and I hold them between my fingers, and I hold one down tight, and as I move my wrist, I get a click here, and I get a click there. Now, of course, when I move my arm, I get a little bit more rhythm out of it. But I'm going to show you that on this one here. Old Cindy Gal. Oh, Cindy Gal, oh, Cindy Gal, oh, Cindy Gal, where'd you stay last night? Oh, Cindy Gal, oh, Cindy Gal, oh, Cindy Gal, you done crossed the river last night. Thank you so much, folks. Now this next number here, I'm going to pull out another one of the oldest instruments in my repertoire. Since I'm here in D.C., I'm proud to say that one of the people who influenced me to start playing this instrument was a wonderful fellow who actually celebrated a birthday, a heavenly birthday, a fellow by the name of Mike Seeger, who a lot of us know very well. And that's all right. We can clap for Mike Seeger. All right, or at home, if you're streaming, you can clap for Mike Seeger, too. One of the great folklorists and performers of old-time American music. And when I met Mike back in 2005, he was the only person that I knew that played this style of music that was recorded in the late 1920s by a Texas songster by the name of Henry Ragtime Texas Thomas. And I was drawn to this particular music. and I wanted to learn it. So when I happened to meet Mike, and he had a set of what they called quills, which are what this panpipe is called, I had to learn it, so I asked him about it. And he got me in touch with a wonderful musician named Edmond Badeau from the Andes, who fashioned these special quills to replicate the sound of Henry Thomas. And so I'm going to play you one of the square dance numbers that Henry Thomas recorded way back, a little piece called Charmin' Betsy. And don't worry, just a little bit more. Okay, whew. A lot of different parts to get this particular song going. So here we go with a little bit of Charmin' Betsy. Let's see if I can get this advanced machinery up here or just right.
Going down the mountain to relief. If I never see you no more, do Lord remember me. First time I seen Charmin' Betsy, want everything that she see. Last time I seen Charmin' Betsy, she wearing that ball and chain. Yes, I'm going round the mountain, Charmin' Betsy, going round the mountain to leave. If I never see her no more, do Lord remember me. I'm going round the mountain, Charmin' Betsy, going round the mountain to relief. If I never see you no more, do Lord remember me. Now Charmin' Betsy's going on down the line, wine glass in her hand, going after her old man. These are the very words she says she's gonna say. Oh my babe, take me back. I've known the world, Lord, take me back. Sunday morning won't seem wrong. You gonna call me, I'll be gone. She turned around 23 times, said my babe, take me back, take me back, take me back. Oh my babe, take me back. Make me one towel on your floor, make me one towel on your floor. Oh, make a pallet soft and low. Won't you make it so your man'll never know? Oh, make it so your man'll never know. Make it so your man'll never know. Oh, make a pallet soft and low. Won't you make it so your man'll never know? 'Cause I'm looking for that bully of the town. Gotta find him. Looking for that bully of the town. I'm looking for that bully can't be found. I'm looking for that bully, lay me down. Yes, looking for that bully of the town. Looking for that bully of the town. I'm looking for that bully can't be found. I'm looking for that bully, lay me down.
Well, thank you so much, folks. Well, I'm originally from Phoenix, Arizona, and I made my way out to North Carolina around 2005, and I traveled around there for a better part of 10 years, stopping off in New York City for a while, and then also I lived out here, actually in Silver Spring, Maryland for a while. And then now I live over in Chicago. Traveling man, as they say, you know. And after a certain point, I started trying to figure out ways to show people a little bit of what I learned in my travels, especially in North Carolina, where I got to sit with a lot of older musicians at their houses and over meals. And this is a little medley of songs in the North Carolina Piedmont style, which is a style of playing where you mimic the sound of two guitars playing at one time. You play the low notes on the thumb, and then you play the melody with your other fingers. And I'm going to do one around the theme of trains. I'm going to start off with Elizabeth Cotton's Freight Train, one from a woman who was born in Carborough, North Carolina, where I used to live. I used to live between there and Chapel Hill when they were two distinctive places. Now they're just kind of one place altogether. But they were two distinctive villages at one point. So a little bit of Freight Train, then a little bit of Railroad Bill, taking us up to the mountains of North Carolina and Morganton. This was done by a woman named Etta Baker. And then go down to Burnsville, North Carolina, start heading toward Tennessee, and play a bit of the Cannonball, which was one that was played by a fellow named Leslie Riddle, who traveled around with the Carter family very early on and helped collect numbers with them. So we'll do a little bit of all three of those numbers here. Well, thank you so much. Well, on my most recent record, Traveling Wildfire, which I was so proud that the Recording Academy and my colleagues out there, they decided to nominate my most recent record for a Grammy for Best Folk Album. Didn't end up winning it this time. You know, Paul Simon and Joni Mitchell were neck and neck for it, but Joni ended up pulling out the win, but I don't feel bad about it. You know, but nevertheless, I was able to bring some wonderful new material that I had written to the album, and it's been interesting now because when I put it out last year, I wanted to focus on the African American contributions to country music and present some new black country songs. And so it's been interesting to see that this year there's been a whole new conversation that's come up with it. But of course, having been a country and western singer in the African American vein for the better part of 25 years, it's something that I knew that was long overdue. But nevertheless, I just wish at some point they'd give me a call. But nevertheless, I'm going to play you a little country waltz that I put together here. This is one about dedicated to the men and the women who ever pulled their partner close for a slow dance. This is one called Slow Dance with You. I wanna pull you close and slow dance with you, darling. I ain't the perfect man, but I see the sun's coming up, and you're lovely wrapped in dawn. Darling, take my hand. Take your time, no rush. We've got the band all night. Forget the world, it's just you and I. Ain't got no expectations, got no questions to ask. Darling, take that fear from your eyes, 'cause I wanna pull you close and slow dance with you. Darling, I ain't the perfect man, but I see the sun's coming up, and you're lovely wrapped in dawn. Darling, take my hand. I know you miss someone, I'm missing someone too, but it ain't about them tonight. It's about two lost hearts and a bucket full of tears that are being left outside tonight. 'Cause I wanna pull you close and slow dance with you. Darling, I ain't the perfect man, but I see the sun's coming up, and you're lovely wrapped in dawn. Darling, take my hand. Darling, take my hand. Thank you so much. And one of the things that it was, that notion of wanting to do some new black country music kind of was an extension from my first record I did with Smithsonian Folkways, which was called Black Cowboys, which again is, it's interesting to see all these things come back in reverberations, because back when I did the album in 2018, one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to sort of fill in this space because, a lot of times when I'm on tour, I tend to go to museums and places that have historical significance, or places that have all the books and materials and things like that in their gift shops. And I noticed whenever I went to the Western museums, they'd have a little bit here about the Black West, maybe the Buffalo Soldiers or maybe Pullman Porters or Black Cowboys or what have you. And I wanted to figure out a way to bring it all together in one place. And then, of course, I wanted to make a big statement out of it, which is why I reached out to the National Museum of African American History and Culture and became a part of the African American Legacy series so that it would be a permanent record within our nation's capital. And thank you. And it was so that people could never contest that it existed, because that was the big thing, was that people would be like, Black Cowboys, again, no. It'd be either no way, or it would be people that had met Black Cowboys or had worked with Black Cowboys or knew something about that history. And so it was one or the other. And so it was a really beautiful thing to be able to put that album together and see those reverberations. This next record, or I guess next song from the record, is one called Steel Pony Blues, and I was inspired to write this one after I read the autobiography of one of the great Black Cowboys of the West, a person that if you looked up a picture of him, he's quite a striking figure. His name was Nat Love, and so I was drawn to his story of being born into slavery and then becoming a cowboy after emancipation, and then becoming a Pullman Porter after that. And I just thought that transition of life between working with a horse and buggy all the way to working on the train was something of interest. And so I wrote this little number, Steel Pony Blues. I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. When you get down to Holbrook, you won't find me there. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Getting far too old to follow this here herd. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Picket 6. Now they call me Mr. Flemons, 'cause I'm a pull porter now. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. 'Cause I caught my steel pony and boys, I'm gonna ride. Take them on down the trail. Now they call me Mr. Flemons, 'cause I done told that guitar down. Good Lord, I caught the first thing smoking down the road somewhere. Now when you get over there, you won't find me, 'cause I called my steel pony and boys, I'm going to ride. Get it one more time, Six, come on now. Thank you so much. Well, folks, this very next number here is a piece that is about another larger-than-life character of the West, and it seems every year people seem to know the name of Bass Reeves more and more. They either make a movie about him or they've made a TV show about him recently. But like I said before, back when I wrote this song, not as many people knew about him. But the one thing that I had learned was that he was apparently the inspiration for the Lone Ranger, and that was what drew me to his story. But of course, taking that part of the story aside, once you get over the shock of learning that the Lone Ranger might be inspired by an African-American lawman of the West, you find out that this was a fellow who was the first deputy U.S. Marshal of the United States west of the Mississippi, who was African-American, following behind Frederick Douglass, no less. And he was a fellow who brought 3,000 people to justice without ever receiving a bullet wound. And one interesting story that I read about was that when he'd get into a gunfight, they said that he'd start singing a little spiritual song to himself, and that was how you knew that Bass Reeves was going to get down to business. And I decided to put a little bit of that line into this next number here. This is one called He's a Lone Ranger, story of Bass Reeves. U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. There was a man way out west, rode around this country with the star on his breast. Every white man and Indian tribe knew he was the baddest man there ever was alive. He's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Broad-shouldered and 6 feet tall, rode a sorrel that could outrun them all. Master of a pistol, master of disguise. He looked every man he caught now dead in the eye, 'cause he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Born a slave down in Arkansas, lived with his master and his dear old mom. Mama said, son, you ain't free, but you can do anything you want, though if the mister don't see. Now he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Master called Bass Reeves to a gambling game. Bass's freedom was the stake that he made. No master cheated. You ought to heard the sound of Bass's hoof beats as Master hit the ground. Now he's a U.S. Marshal and a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger. Bass Reeves is his name. Go! right now. You hear Bass Reeves break into song, get down to business and it won't be long. Withering Muskogee, 100 miles around, they call him Bass Reeves, he's bound to track you down, 'cause he's a U.S. Marshal, ain't a Lone Ranger. He's a Lone Ranger, Bass Reeves is his name. Yeah. Walking around. Yeah, walking around. Thank you so much. Now, a more recent Western number here. This is one that I co-wrote with a few friends of mine. A fellow named Carl Gustafson and also a wonderful blues man by the name of Billy Branch. We co-wrote this song together. This is a modern Western number here called Nobody Wrote It Down, and it's laments that alone. When you learn about a lot of this Western history, it's a shame that it wasn't written down. And of course, it's our job here now in the 21st century to make sure that there's a tangible record and reminder of what once was, so that's not forgotten in the future. And so this is a story that traces a single man's lineage back several generations, telling his Western story. Excuse me. So here we go with a little bit of Nobody Wrote It Down. Great-great-granddaddy was a runaway slave, a noose around his neck if he be found. Great-great-granddaddy rode for Pony Express, but nobody wrote it down. Great-granddaddy was a buffalo soldier. In the Platte River he almost drowned. Took an arrow through his left shoulder, but nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the history books, it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down, nobody wrote it down. My granddaddy on a cattle drive up to Montana from Abilene town, shot 2 rustlers to stay alive, but nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the history books, it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down, nobody wrote it down, nobody wrote it down. In the old dime novels it's hardly found. Nobody wrote it down, nobody wrote it down. Daddy's brother was a railroad porter, the boiler blew and the fire all around. Saved a woman as the fire shot toward her, but nobody wrote it down. Nobody wrote it down in the history books, it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down, nobody wrote it down. Great-great-granddaddy rode for Pony Express. Great-granddaddy was a Buffalo soldier. My granddaddy on a cattle drive. Daddy's brother was a railroad porter. In the history books it can't be found. Nobody wrote it down. Well, this next one here is one that comes from one of my favorite musicians to make recordings of all time. He started out in the 1920s and then made a lot of recordings in the 60s and in the 70s. His name was Reverend Gary Davis, and a wonderful gospel songster. That's great. And glad there are so many fans of Gary out here. And he didn't do a lot of secular numbers because once he, committed to the church, he tried not to do a lot of secular numbers, but they have a few recordings of when his wife was out of the room, and he'd play some secular numbers. I found this really beautiful song that he recorded. It's actually a Western number, and this is one called Saddle It Around. And I heard this one, and I thought it was really unique in one way because it was very different stylistically than a lot of Reverend Gary Davis numbers. So the picking pattern is very unique. If you listen to this one on my album Traveling Wildfire, or if you get it, if you do it on streaming, you can listen to Reverend Gary's version too. And then you can, hopefully when you're doing that, you can listen to some other Reverend Gary as well, and you'll hear a little bit of that difference. And I just was drawn to this number and also the story. It tells the tale of a of a black cowboy traveling down the road and he gets arrested for no reason at all. I thought that was unique. And I reached out to my good friend Stefan Grossman, who recorded the song, and he was so excited. Excuse me. He sent me a second recording from his own archives of Gary singing the song with a second set of lyrics. And so I put the two together to make my version of Saddle It Around. If I can get through it, I'm sure I will, but here's a little bit of Saddle It Around for you. Tell me where you come from now. Tell me where you come from now. I'm from far out in the country. I'm from far out in the country. How you get your living done? On my racking pony. What your horse is living on, I give them corn and water. Down the road I got arrested. Police took me to the jailhouse. What'd they do? Brought me for a cruel old judge. The judge gave me a heavy sentence. Then what I say to him? Judge, you know I ain't never been here before. What'd he say back to me? I give you 6 months, you ain't coming back no more. Now the judge, he was so cruel to me, and he would not let me go. So I'm sitting here in the jail, thinking back on the country, where they pick it like this. Now I hear a train go by. Another train go by, go a little something like this. You know, sometimes though, those trains run off the track though. Tell me where you come from now. Tell me where you come from now. Well, folks, don't want to leave without playing a little bit of banjo for you. I'm going to play you a little bit on this unique banjo here. This is the American Songster tackhead banjo. This was made by a luthier named Jeffrey Minzy, who lives out in Jamaica. And this is a unique banjo made from a Jamaican maple wood here, which is this fancy red wood, and then blue maho wood, which comes from the northern shore of Jamaica. And he made this one here. This is sort of reminiscent of a lot of banjos that were made in the mid-19th century. And they're distinct because they have a much lower tone and they have a real punchy sound to them. And so I'm going to play you a little piece that, funny enough, I got a commission to do this piece from a wonderful musician by the name of Yo-Yo Ma, which a lot of you may have heard of, you know? But it came with this really interesting stipulation. Yo-Yo Ma invited me to go whitewater rafting with him out in West Virginia at the New River Gorge. And so I went whitewater rafting with Yo-Yo Ma, and you can find it online. And he wanted me to write a piece on this banjo here to sort of showcase a little bit of the beauty of this journey of the banjo and what it means to West Virginia. So I decided to take some of the techniques that I had heard from a wonderful old-time banjo player, Uncle Homer Walker from Glen Ellen, and I decided to put it into this little piece called Lost River Blues. Can you all hear that okay? All right. Now let me see if I can dig into it. Now I'll play something a little bit more conventional on the, well, somewhat conventional on the plectrum banjo with the 4 strings on it. I'm going to play one that's housed in the Library of Congress. This is a piece that was collected by John Wesley Work III, who was a third-generation black ethnomusicologist out of Fisk University. And he worked with Alan Lomax in the early 1940s. And he had the unique experience of being a folklorist who, one, came from a very prominent family. His father, John Wesley Work Jr., helped revive the Fisk Jubilee Singers in the early 20th century. But he also had a Presto acetate recorder, and so he recorded field recordings of his own when he went out. And he recorded this wonderful fiddle and banjo duo by the name of Nathan Frazier and Frank Patterson. And he did about a dozen or so recordings of them. And I had the great fortune of hearing a great reissue called Altamont, which was one of the first albums to feature African-American string band music on record. And I heard this number, Po Black Sheep, and it just moved me. And so I had to start trying to pick on this one. And over the years, I've added a bunch of different embellishments. And I think about a lot of the people who influenced me on how to approach this one, because it's all based around more or less two riffs on the melody. And one of the people I think about often is a wonderful fellow who's based around here, Sheikh Amala Jabate, the Ngone player. And oh yeah, I got some fans of Sheikh out there. That's all right. And I just got to see him recently and got to thank him for all he's meant to me. And so I'm going to show you a few embellishments on this particular melody, and this is why this one kind of goes a little bit wild. It's because of meeting guys like Sheikh. And so let's see if we can break it down. Po Black Sheep. And the goat, they went to the pasture. Sheep said, go to bed and get a little faster. Wake snake days are breaking, peas and vine whole cakes baking. All I want from this creation, 3 weeks looks 5 vacation. Tail balls do just fine, daytime's his, nighttime's mine. Oh, Lemmy, got a little lamb, call him Sammy. Old Black's ain't got no mammy. Yeah, Lemmy, got a little lamb, call him Sammy. Well, thank you so much, folks. That's about all the time I've got. I'm going to do just one more for you. This is a little harmonica piece I put together in the style of D. Ford Bailey, the very first black star of country music. And this is a little fiddle tune called Brown Skin Girl. Yeah, and it's sorry I don't have a lot of time. You know, I love it. I love D. Ford. I'm glad there's so many fans out there. Once again, my name's Dom Flemons. I'm known as the American Songster. You can look me up at theamericans.com if you want to keep up with me. Also, if I have some QR codes out there if you want to buy a CD. I don't have any with me. And folks at home, if you're streaming, there's also a tip jar online. So feel free to stop on by virtually. And so here's a little bit of Brown Skin Girl. Thank you all again for having me.